Now, fast forward recently to Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, goes viral, but not for football, but for how he structured his contract. He had an equity clause in his deal with Gatorade. That clause basically said, I'm not just here as a name or a body. I want part of what's being built off of me. I want ownership in the outcome. So that clause essentially just preserved his interest. And he didn't walk away with just a one time check. He walked away with his corrected status in the contract and he claimed his equity.
The NFL is straight up spinning right now. Shedeur Sanders just looked at a $2 million offer and tossed it aside like pocket change. That's not just news, it's a statement. Teams are sitting there stunned, asking themselves how a rookie could flip the entire script before even stepping on the field. Is Shedeur rewriting what it means to bet on yourself, or does he know something the league doesn't? Either way, the panic is real, and the ripple effects could shake the NFL to its core.
This is the best situation for Shedeur. You may have lost $20 million, yeah, on the front end. You're still gonna make that up if you do what.
Think about it. Turning down $2 million without throwing a single NFL pass. That's not bold, that's dangerous confidence. That's the kind of stunt that has boardrooms clutching their ties, whispering to each other, "What's leverage?" This wasn't just a rejection. It was a tidal wave crashing across the league, destroying the old assumption that rookies should be grateful for scraps. Shedeur didn't reject the money. He rejected the system, the dusty script that's been running since the days of leather helmets. For decades, the process was the same. You get drafted, you smile, you sign, you shut up. It was like a rookie initiation ritual.
No, they got you. Don't let them know they got you. You just got to keep on going. No matter what the day is, no matter what the move is, keep going. God gave us everything to point for.
But Shedeur, he walked in, looked down at that $2 million check, and basically said, "Cute, do better." In that one moment, he stopped being just another young quarterback and turned into the nightmare of every old school agent in the game. Shedeur Sanders didn't just bet on himself. He made the entire NFL question if the hustle they've lived by is officially broken. Here's the truth. Shedeur ain't just chasing a bag, he's building the entire bank. And no, that's not some cheesy motivational slogan. It's a full-blown business strategy. Most rookies see $2 million and think, I made it. Shedeur looked at that same number and saw a ceiling he wasn't about to let trap him. He's not moving like a player anymore. He's moving like a venture capitalist rocking cleats.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is, of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things.
Why take crumbs when you can own the bakery? Why sell influence when you already control the timeline? The merch drops, the meme cycles, the trending hashtags, the comment sections, it's all in his hands. That's not a flip of the playbook, that's a hostile takeover. Normally, rookies walk in wide-eyed happy just to get an invite. They're the kids at the buffet line fighting for cold leftovers while the vets carve up steak. But Shedeur, he didn't even grab a plate. He walked in, looked around, and decided he'd rather build his own 5-star restaurant across the street. And suddenly, the NFL's hierarchy looks like a house of cards in a hurricane. And behind the curtain, pure meltdown. Brands are in crisis mode. Execs are sweating through their $5,000 suits.
It's going to be one.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of them is going to be
speaking
one.
into existence.
And the latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I kind of want them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget shallow, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I know where I want them.
Agents flipping through playbooks like they just got swapped out for IKEA manuals. This whole system only works when rookies are desperate. That's how they get lowballed, slapped with logos, and drained dry while they're cheap. But Shedeur just broke that chain, and the power balance will never be the same. When one rookie says no, it doesn't just kill one deal, it rattles the whole machine. Suddenly, every rookie in the league starts asking the dangerous question, do we even need this system at all? And nothing shakes the old guard harder than the thought of a whole generation realizing they can build their own empire without bowing down to the NFL script.
Oh well, the truth always comes out one way or another, and this is just a terrible look for Shedeur Sanders, and holy shit, the legendary Chris Carter, another black man, a star athlete who is a legend in the league, goes off on Shedeur Sanders for throwing away at least $30 to $50 million.
This isn't just about Shedeur anymore. It's about shifting the power game entirely. Negotiations aren't about dollar signs and commas. They're about respect, alignment, and real control. Translation: if you want Shedeur Sanders, don't just show up with a check. You better bring vision, equity, and a pulse on culture. Because let's be honest, why lock yourself into some dusty brand deal when you can drop your own hoodie on Instagram and rake in the same money, except you keep all of it? Not a cut, not a slice, the whole pie sits in your kitchen. And let's not get it twisted. This wasn't some random flex. The timing was surgical. Training camps heating up, media starving for rookie drama.
Shedeur said he coming back for another year to play with you, bro.
I know he just told me that. He gonna fuck with me,
They agreed to the terms in the NIL.
Yeah.
I told him I'm tired of sacrificing, and I got
Preseason chatter bubbling. Then bam! Shedeur drops that rejection like it's a mixtape release. Every sports network, every blog, every group chat lit up instantly.
Life, it's always gonna be pain. It's always gonna be things, adversity, things that's gonna knock you down sometimes. But the main thing about it is you just gotta push through it. There's a lot of people in this world that's going through stuff, but I'm playing for a lot.
Executives panicked, fans divided, rookies grabbing their notebooks like students in a masterclass on leverage. But with that kind of shockwave comes the pushback. Fast. Whispers of arrogance, entitlement, not knowing your place start circling.
Tonight, Shedeur Sanders made the entire National Football League look like a whole bunch of petty fools. In some cases, racist fools. In many cases, Dion despising fools.
Because the system doesn't fear one rookie being bold, it fears the copycats who follow him. This isn't just a quarterback betting on himself, this is a quarterback who's already profitable. And that is a nightmare for the system that depends on rookies being broke enough to grab whatever's offered. Back in the day, turning down $2 million was career suicide, the kind of move that made agents lose their voices screaming, "Are you crazy?" But this isn't the old days. It's 2025, the era of NIL empires, viral influence, and digital-first clout. Shedeur doesn't need a brand stamp of approval when he's already racking up streams of income most corporations can't even match. He's not chasing the future, he is the future, the prototype of the modern athlete, where legacy is measured not just in rings, but in reach. This rejection wasn't about money, it was about narrative control. Endorsements used to be golden tickets. Brands picked you, polished your image, dressed you up like a mannequin, and maybe let you spit one pre-approved line. That model is a corpse. Shedeur doesn't need brands to tell his story. He is the media now. He doesn't need a 30-second ad slot when one Instagram story can shake culture overnight. And those taglines companies spend millions on, his own merch drops already create them for free. So why on earth would he trade influence for a flat check? Spoiler alert, he wouldn't. Not now, not ever.
It's honestly just going out there playing ball. I don't really think too deep of it. I think about one completion at the time, one right play call at the time, one the right way to do the footwork when we're handing the ball off, doing everything. So every day is just constant grading yourself and trying to have progression.
And here's the wildest part. The NFL has no clue what to do with this. Imagine being a league that spent decades treating rookies like unpaid interns, only to watch a fifth-rounder shrug off millions like a billionaire haggling at a garage sale. Picture the brands that thought rookies were still desperate, now realizing this new generation walks in with more clout than half their marketing departments combined. It's chaos, glorious, overdue chaos, and they feel it. Somewhere right now, a VP is crying over a laptop, rewriting contract templates like their entire empire just crumbled. What comes next? Equity-first deals, athletes demanding creative control, partnerships built on authenticity instead of those dusty slogans, cross-platform launches that look more like cultural festivals than ad campaigns. And the real kicker?
It's not cast on who Shedeur Sanders will be. The die is cast on what the NFL thinks of him. And the NFL thinks he is a player whose college production was very precisely manicured by his head coach, who was his father.
Rookies storming into the league with leverage, not hunger. That's the doomsday scenario for the old system, because once players realize they don't need crumbs, the whole kitchen shuts down. Shedeur didn't just toss the playbook, he rewrote it with emojis, hashtags, and a smirk. The old script told rookies, don't rock the boat. He torched the yacht and blasted off on a jet ski of independence. Critics call it cocky, but the rest of us, we call it clarity. He knows exactly what he brings to the table, and by saying no, he proved that knowing your worth isn't just flexing, it's a revolution. He didn't just reject the check, he rejected the system that wrote it. And now, those ripples are turning into shockwaves tearing through sports, fashion, tech, and music. Every industry that thought talent would forever settle for crumbs just because the check cleared is now learning the hard truth. The check ain't enough anymore. And the scariest part for the old guard? This is only chapter 1. Look at the brand scrambling after Shedeur's rejection. They look like jittery Wall Street interns fueled on too much Red Bull, sweating through their button-ups, pretending they're not seconds from collapsing. The NFL isn't built for this. They're used to rookies groveling for leftover sponsorship scraps, begging to be the face of some clearance rack deodorant. But Shedeur didn't just reject a deal, he rejected their ego. That's what stings. The machine survives on the myth that athletes are disposable cogs, but here's a cog that stared it dead in the eye and said, forget your gears, I'll build my own engine.
On the football field, not in real life, because we know that Shedeur Sanders grew up with money, but on the football field, he has always been considered an underdog, and that's what made him have the confidence.
And that's where the cultural quake comes in. Back then, athletes sold cereal, sneakers, whatever random junk a marketing team shoved into their hands. The formula was simple: smile, pose, cash the check. But Shedeur flipped that script. He's not selling someone else's brand, he is the brand, and the league can't stand it. They don't want a rookie quarterback moving like a Fortune 500 CEO, but that's exactly what's happening. You can feel the panic dripping out of NFL headquarters. Somewhere, a high-paid exec is staring at a PowerPoint titled Reassessing Rookie Marketability while silently screaming into his Starbucks cup. The reality is brutal. The endorsement playbook is collapsing in real time. Athletes aren't begging for a seat at the table anymore. They're dragging the whole table into their house. They're not just sitting at the table anymore. They're building the table, selling the table, and charging admission just to pull up a chair. Shedeur's rejection proves it. He shredded that illusion before even throwing a single NFL touchdown. By saying no, he reminded the world that athletes are the attraction, not the accessories. Fans don't pack stadiums for soda commercials. They come for the players, period. And here's the brutal math. $2 million sounds like a dream payday until you realize Shedeur can pull that in by himself through merch drops, media ventures, and cultural moves that brands can't replicate. That endorsement check wasn't a gift, it was a discount. The brand wasn't paying him his worth. They were paying him what they thought they could get away with. His rejection wasn't ego, it was a market correction, loud and clear. But of course, the critics came crawling out like they always do. Any confident black athlete gets hit with the same tired labels: arrogant, entitled, not focused on the game. It's the same outdated script they used on Cam Newton, on LeBron James, on anyone who dared to show agency instead of acting like a rented body in shoulder pads.
The bullshit. I already knew that it was going to be reports eventually that an NFL team did not like how confident that Shedeur Sanders is, and they were going to mix it up with being.
Shedeur isn't arrogant, he's aware. That wasn't luck, that was strategy. He didn't just turn down a deal, he hijacked the news cycle and bent it around him. That's the ultimate flex. Every athlete wants that kind of narrative control, but almost none ever get it. Most rookies play nice, avoid controversy, and snatch whatever crumbs fall off the table. But Shedeur, he flipped the entire table over. Shedeur flipped the entire script. Controversy turned into his spotlight, and rejection turned into his currency. He owned the conversation before he even took a single NFL snap. That's not arrogance. That's pure chess, and he's playing it 10 moves ahead. And here's where it gets deeper: legacy. Shedeur isn't chasing quick headlines or fast checks. He's building a story that lasts, one where he's not just an athlete, but a full-blown empire. And trust me, other athletes are watching this unfold and realizing they don't have to sell off their image for pennies when their worth is priceless. Shedeur's rejection wasn't just personal rebellion, it was a blueprint. Picture the future. Rookies saying no to cheap shoe deals, walking away from soda ads, rejecting junk endorsements left and right because they finally see their leverage. That's the nightmare brands don't want. The floodgates swinging wide open. Of course, the pushback will be vicious. Old school executives and bitter commentators will scream about focus, humility, and distractions. They'll pretend it's about football, but let's be real, it's never about football, it's about power. And nothing terrifies the NFL establishment more than athletes realizing the so-called rules were only designed to chain them down. Instead, what they've got now is a businessman in cleats, a player who knows his value better than the league ever could. And that's the wound that stings the most for the NFL. Because for the first time, the control isn't theirs anymore. And here's the twist. This isn't stopping with Shedeur.
The dollars was just staying true to himself. This quote pretty much summarizes everything. My job isn't to prove people wrong, it's to prove myself right.
His rejection lit a fuse that could blow open every pro sport, not just the NFL. Imagine rookies in the NBA, MLB, or even international soccer looking at their first offers and saying, nah, I'm worth more. Suddenly, the rookie wage scale isn't a safety net. It's a trap waiting to be dismantled. The system was built on the idea that rookies were desperate, that they'd sign anything just to get in the door. But Shedeur proved you don't have to beg when you already built your own door, your own house, and even the keys to it. That's the nightmare scenario for owners, players walking in with leverage, not just talent. And here's the ripple. Veterans are watching too. If rookies can flip the balance, then what's stopping seasoned stars from rewriting their contracts entirely? Suddenly, it's not about endorsements or even salary, it's about equity, control, and cultural power. The league doesn't fear Shedeur alone. They fear the copycats who will come after him, each one stronger because he showed them the blueprint. What Shedeur just sparked isn't a headline, it's a generational shift. The old guard is clutching their pearls while the new wave is licking their chops, ready to flip the game upside down. And the craziest part, we're only watching the opening act. This was never just about money, it's about independence. Shedeur didn't just say no, he basically declared, I don't need you to be me. And once that idea spreads, the entire endorsement empire starts crumbling brick by brick. The real panic isn't that Shedeur turned down $2 million, it's that every athlete who comes after him might realize they can do the exact same thing. And that's the revolution, the shift the old guard never saw coming. Athletes calling their own shots, writing their own stories, and refusing to play by rules designed to keep them in check. Shedeur didn't just make a choice, he lit the fuse on a movement. So if you've been riding with me through this saga, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this with your people, and I'll see you on the next one.